So first of all, let me talk about this because this came out very, very strongly in the center of the spread. We have here the star, and the star basically means a lot of deep rooted spiritual healing needs to happen for this month. And a lot of the times, deep rooted spiritual healing can be very, very uncomfortable. It forces us to examine, to really sit down and with ourselves and in a quiet environment, to really sift through a lot of the things that have hurt us in the past, a lot of the things that we have done to hurt ourselves, hurt other people. And so this is a really, I feel like, on the one hand, there's a lot of work that you have to do. There's a lot of responsibilities that you're taking on, a lot of like activities that you're trying to hold on to, and you're also waiting for them to pay out. You're waiting for new opportunities. This is a card usually about opportunities for travel, okay? Looking at the horizon, thinking about what is our life going to be like if we live somewhere else, if our entire life experience have been different. And I feel like longing for something that is a little bit more out of reach. It might or might not come in for you, but you're still longing for it. You're still very fixed in it, and you have like multiple things. At least three things that you're waiting on. 3 job offers, 3 collaborators, 3 opportunities for travel, 3 situations that you're waiting on. So I feel like your energy is devoted to many, many, many things. And so with this busy time of the year, I feel like you have a lot of work, you have a lot of projects that you're taking on. You might be shifting from one location to the next. You're not really sure what your schedule is going to look like the next week. You're not really sure where you're going to be the next month. And so there's a lot of instability here. I feel like in a way, you thrive really well in this because, you're a very buoyant type of sign. You can quickly change your priorities. You can shift your schedule. You can, move around quite a bit without it being disruptive to you. But I feel there's a deep element here of why are you distracting yourself with a lot of things? Are there things that you need to do or things that you need to really, look at? Are you distracting yourself with all of this so you don't have to do this inner work? Okay, so that's the first thing for those of you who have been going through that, April, May, June timeframe where you really have to sit still with yourself and try to flush out, what have I done in the past? Are these things serving me? And sifting through those uncomfortable, awkward situations from the past, and whether or not, they're representative of the person that you want to portray to the world. Like, how have you done things that were good? And what are some of the things that you did that you're not really proud of? So I feel like there's an element here about you running away from some things that made you feel uncomfortable, some things that you didn't want to put in the work to examine, or you didn't want to put in the time, or you ran away from it and you didn't want to take in the time because it's uncomfortable. So they're saying that these things need to be examined because some major deep healing is going to happen for you for this month. And this is the month where, we are in the sun sign of Cancer. And I feel because it's the middle of the year, this energy in Cancer is for us to really do some type of spiritual purging. Okay. January, traditionally, it does begin with, setting intention because Capricorns are very good at laying down structure, laying down goals, and thinking about how to reach these things. And so the month of July, it's all about, looking at the past, like, what have we done so far this entire year? What are we trying to achieve the next 6 months? And what are some things that we're doing that's hurting us or hurting people around us? So I feel like there's some major, deep spiritual kind of like awakening that's happening for many of you. The last thing that I want to mention with this card here, especially, so I'm feeling this energy here about you doing things or, so let me talk about recreational things. Okay. This is a card involved with, gossip. It deals with people who might, who clump together, not because of the meaningful conversation, the life experiences, they're not really sharing with each other, or they don't have a common ground when it comes to enlightened values. They clump themselves together because, you know, they might have like a common interest or a hobby or a pastime that might not be good for them. Okay, so one thing that does come up with this card is like a bunch of people getting together just to get drunk. And then when they're not drunk, the conversation runs out, right? And we've all had people like that. We've always all been in this type of a situation. It's sort of like without the alcohol, without the drugs, what do we really have in common with the other person? So I feel like this is a month. It might be good for you guys to really think about this. The groups that you find yourselves in, the activities, the recreational activities that you find yourself resorting to or doing. And is it, you know, across the board with all the people you meet, or just a specific group? And if it is with a specific group or a specific individual, you might need to, you know, do some cord cutting to wean them out of your life, okay? Because I feel like this energy is not good for growth. And after you're able to do that, you're going to find some people that are conducive for growth, that you can share these conversations with, that you can have, you know, very deep, in-depth, soulful communication with. And the energy is going to be completely different from this. And so it's really important for you to, you know, I want to say, know who your friends are, know what you're doing, okay? And I also feel for some of you, you are ascending. Your energy is very strong. It's very clear. And it's like resonating at a very high frequency, high vibration. And so recently, some major new good people have come into your life that you really jive well with. And when you're ascending, when your vibration it's a really high, clear frequency, the people that are not good for you, they're naturally going to start to go away. And so you might find that when you communicate with your old groups of people, there's a lot of arguments. There's like lack of agreement, lack of consensus, lack of respect even. And these people are going to naturally fall away from your life. And you might try to, you know, hang on to them. For others of you, you might have already known this, and this is the month in which you start to accept the reality of it, which is that you can't cling on to this any longer. You have to turn your back. You have to do whatever is, you know, spiritually better for you, okay? And so it's going to feel, you know, this transition is going to feel a little bit awkward. It's going to feel a little bit disorienting. And it's going to require a lot of just self-awareness from your end in order to handle it well. Just really think about, okay, why am I no longer talking to A, B, and C? And really, you know, maintaining that motive, maintaining that sense of purpose. I'm not talking to them, even though I do miss them a little bit, but I'm not talking to them because they bring me down, or they're not emotionally supportive, or I give and give and give so much of my time and I'm not getting anything back from them, or they're gossipy and they're low vibrational and they bring me down. They drag down the energy of the group, or they drag down my energy, or they take from me, and I can't have that any longer. So I feel like some very, very deep purging of your friendships, of the things that you do recreationally. Are they still good for you? I feel a lot of drinking. I honestly feel that. I'm also seeing like a lot of situations where it's like your friends drag you to go to a bar or to go to a club, and you're just like bored out of your mind, and you're sitting there just going through the motions, hoping the day would end. And yet you allow them to drag you every single time. So this is the month where I feel like you're putting your foot down. You're like, I'm not doing that anymore. It doesn't bring me any fun and excitement. I don't want to get dressed up just to go out and flaunt and, you know, just go home and sleep and waste the whole night. So your priorities are definitely changing here, Geminis, which I feel is really, really good for you. One last thing I want to mention, and this is your card right here. Okay, this is an air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, or a Libra, but this is your card. And what this card usually denote here, setting boundaries, being very clear about our expectations, and, you know, weeding some people out of our lives. If somebody is coming in presenting you with some type of I want to say like a BS story, you're going to be very quick to cut them off. Okay. And so what I feel happening for this month, and especially for some of you, this, what I feel is overall protecting your energy level. Okay. So that means not helping people who are just taking up a lot of your time, a lot of your energy, and they don't want to do the work for themselves. And then on the other end is giving your energy away to people who have boundary issues. Okay. So that means they repeatedly overextend themselves and ask you to do things that are not appropriate for you. It's just not appropriate for them to ask you in that manner. You might like have an acquaintance that asks if they can, you know, stay with you for 5 weeks. So that's not appropriate, right? And so this is a card about, you know, saying no, learning to say no, protecting what's yours, protecting the people that are dear to you, that see you in a different light, that wants you to improve, and then cutting off the people that are just raining on your parade, taking your energy. I feel like, especially for some of you who are doing any type of healing work or any type of energetic work or any type of readings even. So if you have, you know, your sun, moon, or rising in Geminis, and you're watching this and it resonates with you, I would strongly urge you to do some type of spiritual cleansing, because I feel like you're accumulating a lot of negative of people's energies, and people's energies allows us to sympathize, right? Because it allows us to align ourselves energetically on their energy level. So a lot of the times we have to lower our energy or our vibration to allow us to empathically connect to another person that's dealing with some hardships in their lives where they feel very stuck. And at the end of the reading, we have to release their energy so that we can bounce back, right? And I feel like some of you are getting lost in it. You're doing it, but you're not disconnecting from that energy stream of your clients. And it would be in your best interest to disconnect, because I feel like you're carrying other people's energies and you're operating from a space where you feel really physically tired all the time. And you're feeling like it's hard for you to focus on your everyday activities. It's hard for you to like, you feel very muddled, like you're walking through a fog, and you feel very low vibrational, like you're tired all the time. And especially if your neck, the base of your neck, if there are pains or if there's pressure, and then if there's soreness and, you know, just like knots all over your back, I feel like that's you taking on the energies of other people unawares and carrying the weight of that. So it makes you feel really, really tired. If that is the case, do some chakra realignment, do some Reiki healing, and try your best as well to disconnect yourself after readings. Okay, that's going to be really important if you are doing reading or you're doing Reiki or you're doing some type of spiritual healing. And then also for those of you in the medical profession, doctors, even mental health specialists, I'm seeing dentists, but I don't know how that would apply, but it might as well be dentists. Nurses, especially if you've handled some really heavy cases dealing with, you know, abuse or something traumatic happened for you at work that you can't like unsee something. I feel like you're carrying that with you as well. So having a session with a therapist to talk it out, flush it out, and then release that energy is going to be very good for you. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. And I hope that resonates with you who are watching this so that you know what you need to do. Okay. One last thing, long awaited dream is coming. The star indicates a wish card. And this is a card about waiting for a really long time for an opportunity to come in. So they're saying a long awaited dream is going to be in the works for you. Okay. So this is overall a card about success. Okay. Having dominion over your territory, kind of like being on that hill, looking, looking down at everything that's happening around you, meaning you take ownership or you have ownership over your domain. So I feel like things are going to really stabilize for you. It's going to require a lot of hard work when this thing comes in. And for some of you, it could be a job. For others, it's a major big breakthrough in your creative endeavors, like for singers, actors, models, publishers too. And I feel writers, if you're waiting on publishing opportunities, this is what's going to come in for you. It requires a lot of hard work, but you've made it, okay? So I'm going to go into your love reading and see what's in store for you guys.